Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on into these topics, shall we? Starting with our game news topics of the day. And our first game news topic of the day is regarding Battlefield REDSEC. The official trailer has dropped today, and it is now officially out, which means I was wrong. I thought they were going to do more of a marketing push before it released, but I guess it was shadow dropped as of today. So if you guys are interested in playing it, go ahead and check it out. I haven't had a chance to just yet, but I did absolutely love this trailer. So if you guys haven't seen it, I'll have a link to it in the description down below so you guys can take a look at it. Now, sadly, because YouTube is a bit of a bitch, I cannot show you guys the full trailer because it's going to cause me issues on the channel and I'll have to edit it out anyways. So what I can do though is I'm going to go to this article from IGN and show you guys some of the imagery and pictures and talk about the trailer. So the trailer is set to California Love, which I think was an absolutely phenomenal addition to this trailer. It really made it stand out. And I think it made me think that the coast is going to be set. So here's the map right here. I think that's going to be set in the coast of California. Now, I don't think this is actually Los Angeles, or if it is, it's a very scaled down version of it. But I think it's more set like towards the Malibu area of California, but not necessarily Malibu itself, as these are very different circumstances as to locations and things like that. So it's mostly a made up fictional map. But I think it looks awesome. The different terrain, the different things you got. You got the golf course up here, you got downtown, you got the waterfront sides over here, and you even got a desert area over here in the far right. So I'm very curious how this is all going to plan out and how actually expansive this map is. Just looking at it, it looks huge. So I'm curious how it's going to be when you actually jump into the game. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some other things here. Now, this imagery here, I'm not sure exactly what this is for. I think this is probably going to be something you can customize during the game, a la Grand Theft Auto, or I'm not exactly sure, but this looked very interesting. It's something they ended the trailer with. I'm sure this article has details, so I'll link the article in the description too if you guys want to take a look at it. But the one interesting thing that they really showcased was this firewall, I guess you can say, encompassing the whole map, bringing everything in. They were saying that it would kill you instantly, but they really showcased that you don't want to be anywhere near this. Even if a helicopter, it touched the helicopter, destroyed it. So they really want you to avoid the outskirts, which will probably make things a lot more chaotic than uh, any other game like this, any other battle royale game like this, because you can be in the fog for a little bit and grab some things, heal yourself, and then run out. This one you don't want to even fucking touch it. So I'm very curious how the end game is going to be for that. Where the end game, let me cut to my camera real quick. So the end game, you usually get it right here up until everyone's in the thing or has like a little hole that you have to be in, or it just shuts down completely and the first person to die loses. So I'm very curious how they're going to end up doing it. Are they going to stop at a certain point? Are they just going to say fucking kill all the players? I'm curious how that's going to turn out. Maybe I'll find out tonight when I get a chance to play it. But that being said, guys, let me know what you guys thought of the trailer. I thought the California Love aspect was great. I thought the visuals were great. It was a very fun and entertaining trailer. It really got me excited. It did the job of a trailer, which was to get me excited for the product, and now I am excited for the product. But let me know what you guys thought of the trailer and what you guys think of the gameplay now that it is out now. Let me know. All right. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And speaking of battle royale games, it looks like Sharkmob is shutting down Bloodhunt servers in April 2026, which is a vampire battle royale game, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, I don't know anything about this game, and that's probably why it's going to be getting shut down. But Sharkmob will permanently shut down Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt on April 28th, 2026, due to unsustainable player counts. Hold on one second. Unsustainable player counts, rendering the game completely unplayable. In-game currency purchases have been halted, although players can still spend existing tokens until the shutdown occurs. All accounts and gameplay data will be deleted in compliance with GDRP, which is I think that stands for General Data Protection Regulations. I think. Yeah, I think that's what that stands for. Sorry, guys, it's been a minute. Maybe you know what? Let me look it up. Hold on. GDRP. General Data Protections Regulation. Hey, would you look at that? I was right. Anyway, so yeah, general data protection regulations. Despite its Jesus Christ, my dyslexia's kicking in hard today, guys. My apologies. Anyways, despite its positive reception and passionate fan base, the free-to-play battle royale set in Prague will join other discontinued titles like Anthem, marking the end of its 4-year run. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this game or played it at some point, maybe have some tokens or some coins, go enjoy it while you can. It will be shutting down on April 28th, 2026. And it just goes to show that a lot of lines of battle royale games just aren't the way to go. Live service games aren't necessarily going to, bring home the money as everyone assumes that it would, like it does for Fortnite and other games. They're the exception, not the rule, as I like to say. Anyways, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day is about the new game, The Florist. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So The Florist is, hold on. Unclear Games unveils The Florist, a fixed camera horror adventure inspired by classic Resident Evil. Now, again, YouTube, bit of a bitch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mute this and let you guys kind of see what they're doing here. The visuals are very, very, very beautiful. I love the art style here. And the fixed camera angle, I think they showcase it right here. So you come in and I don't know, I swear there was oh, there we go. So you're not really following behind the protagonist. It's very Resident Evil 1-esque, where the camera's fixed in one location as you run past certain things, and then the camera adjusts, which is very interesting. I haven't seen a game do that since Resident Evil, actually, or maybe they have. I just can't recall any personally. So I think this is going to be really interesting, going back to that kind of gameplay mechanic and how they're going to make it different. So I like seeing what companies nowadays do with those gameplay mechanics, kind of like what Expedition 33 did with turn-based strategy games. Now, I've only seen that. I'm going to play that soon. We're going to be getting the special edition coming in the mail, so hopefully I can play that and get a review out for you guys. So, yeah, let's go ahead and read some details regarding this this game here. Let's see. I'll just go back up to this image, or I'll show you my dumb face. Anyways, where was I? Wellington-based Unclear Games will release The Florist in 2026 for consoles and PC, marking its first game and a survival horror inspired by Resident Evil. Players control Jessica Park in a town of Joy Cliff, battling floral overgrowth and solving puzzles as environments and enemies grow and mutate in real time. Featuring a fixed camera level, handcrafted visuals, and a sound sorry, you're gonna hear family in the background. Anyways, and a sound palette of woodwind, brass, and synths. The Florist aims to deliver a fresh, unsettling experience rooted in natural horror. So I think this game looks very interesting and something I probably will check out. I know my brothers have been playing a lot of Resident Evil, so we'll probably end up checking out The Florist at some point, just to, get a little bit more horror gaming action in. Me personally, I'm a bit of a bitch when it comes to horror games, so I probably won't play it, but we'll see what ends up happening. All right, guys, that being said, let's move over to our next game news topic of the day. And our next game news topic of the day is regarding Ex-Sony executive Shawn Layden calls live service games a mirage, urging focus on single player experiences. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article from GameRant. Now, if you don't know who they're speaking about, I have him here in the opening. He's in the bottom left corner here. He is the gentleman that was one of the execs at Sony. I don't know if you guys recognize him, but he used to work there, and he did a phenomenal job when he was working at Sony. So I take what he says, not necessarily super serious. He doesn't have any input anymore, but I would take what he says pretty seriously, because he kind of knows how the industry runs, and he's been in there for quite some time. Anyways, foremost Sony executive Shawn Layden likens the pursuit of live service success as to chasing a mirage, arguing that hits like Fortnite and Fortnite are unpredictable and not replicable. Anyways, you can't do it. You can't do it like they do. It can't be copied, essentially, is what he's saying. Uh, while single player titles like God of War Ragnarok thrive, live service efforts like Concord fail quickly, prompting Sony to cancel two multiplayer projects and delay Bungie's Marathon. Despite Helldivers 2's success, Linden's comments highlight growing skepticism across the genre's sustainability, raising questions about whether AAA studios will shift back towards narrative-driven games. And I think that's what Sony's already doing, since they kind of failed on their Concord aspect. Now I don't know what they're going to do with that game. I think at some point they're going to try to re-release it, maybe as a free-to-play game or something. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, all publicity is not good publicity, but I think you'll get a lot of players' curiosity if you re-release that game, and people will probably want to go check it out. But it'll have to probably be a free-to-play game at that point. That being said, I think Sony's already canceled a lot of the games listed, even here in this image that we have in our opening. At the top right, they were working on a live service God of War multiplayer game. They were looking at a live service Spider-Man video game. They canceled the multiplayer Naughty Dog one. Concord, of course, was canceled. They were looking into Twisted Metal and all these other ones listed here. The only one that's continuing forward is Marathon, and I think that's because Bungie was just too far along and they're too big of a studio to not go forward with that project. So that one's gonna definitely have to go forward. But I think they're kind of done with the live service aspect of the gaming industry. And I think the best way to do a live service game as of right now. Now, Fortnite, those are the exception, not the rules. And having games like that out there, I think the best way to kind of incorporate that is to introduce a multiplayer into your single player game or in a single player campaign. And then as the multiplayer builds, then you expand and expand and expand until it becomes a live service esque game. I think something like an open world, The Last of Us inspired gameplay like game could be really, really successful as a free to play kind of live service game, but you just have to introduce fans to it little by little, slowly but surely, and not just give it to them right away. You can do things like that, but I just think studios are just too busy trying to jump ahead and just get the live service aspect of it out. I don't even know how you would do a live service game for God of War. That multiplayer doesn't even sound interesting, and the multiplayer that they did do at some point just wasn't any good. So I'm in agreement with the ex executive here that they really need to shift their focus away from live service games and go back to their single player multiplayer aspects and go at it in that direction. I think that's more beneficial for not only the studios but for the game industry itself. And proof's in the pudding with all these layoffs and stuff like that happening, which is funny because that's going to lead us into our next story of the day. But let me know what you guys think about this story. Do you guys think that it's a bit of a problem and they should stop doing live service games as Sony or any other studio, or do you think it should be very minuscule as the game builds? As I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, guys, that's being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. And speaking of layoffs, Amazon Game hits hard by company-wide layoffs. Over 14,000 jobs cut across divisions. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this article from Game Rant. So another studio, a big studio too, at this, with Amazon getting cut with layoffs. Another studio, I think this makes it up to 100,000 layoffs, if not more, this year from just tech industry regarding gaming and stuff like that. So this is pretty wild. Amazon will lay off over 14,000 corporate employees starting on October 28th, with Amazon Games San Diego and Irvine studios facing significant reductions, impacting development of titles like New World, the New World game. Anyways, layoffs will reduce Amazon's investment in big budget projects, including MMORPGs such as Lost Ark and Throne of Liberty, and affect the central publishing team. The cuts follow previous layoffs totaling 27,000 in 2023, in 2022 through 2023, and may disrupt services like Amazon Web Services, echoing similar impacts seen during Microsoft's 9,000 person layoff, reduced earlier this year. So essentially, Amazon's been more focused on live service game like New Worlds, like arc and like Throne of Liberty. So I think it's not funny no one's getting laid off, but it's funny that we have all these things going on with live service games and how studios continue to try to push for it and don't even focus on single player experiences anymore and just really, really try to focus on this kind of gameplay. And we see time after time after time again, it just doesn't work for every single game and doesn't work for every single studio. Now, there are games that have been very successful at that and have done very well. Helldivers 2 is a great example that recently did it. But like I've said, it's not every game that's going to be that way. You have to retain your players' interest. Games like God of War, the great thing about that and the great thing about like Ghost of Yote is that you get your purchase, you get your $60 and then bam, you make your money up front and now people get to enjoy the game and then they stop playing and then they go on to their live service games like Marvel Rivals, for example. So, and Marvel Rivals is constantly updating content, constantly updating this. And even they got hit with layoffs earlier this year. So it just goes to show that it's not really sustainable like people think. People just think it prints and prints and prints money, and that's not how it works. So, and I think studios are realizing that slowly but surely. And I think it's sad to see that all these people are going to get laid off from their jobs, but, it is what it is. And hopefully they can find something better for their career, and hopefully studios will stop doing this so that people can maintain their jobs and they can continue to make money and thrive in the gaming industry. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. All right, guys, that does it for our game news topics of the day. We're going to go ahead and move over to our movie news topics. And our first movie news topic of the day is regarding Josh Hartnett is set to star and produce in an action thriller called All Day and All Night, directed by Tommy Wirkola. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I think it's interesting. Josh Hartnett's career has really fell off, and now it's coming back little by little, and I like that because I've loved what he's done so far with his resurgence almost. But Josh Hartnett plays Billy Davis, a former bank robber forced back into crime to pay for his daughter's Harvard tuition, only to end up trapped on a failing reality TV show amid police and mob threats. So I'm very curious how that's going to take place. Is he in the middle of a heist and then comes across a reality TV show and then he just tries to be in there to kind of just pretend like he's part of the show? I'm very curious what they mean when they say that aspect of it. So we're just gonna have to wait and see for the movie. But it's gonna be written by Tommy Wirkola, who's this gentleman right here. Here's his name. If you guys want to try to pronounce that last name, I'm pronouncing it horribly wrong, so forgive me. And anyways, it's gonna be written by him and John Navin. The film will be directed by this gentleman here and produced by XYZ Films with financing by IPRVC, whatever the hell that is. And production was set to begin in 2026. And the reason it interests me is I didn't know what Tommy here has directed in the past, so I ended up looking him up. And here's his IMDb page, and he's directed some movies that I'm actually have been pretty interested in. A great example would be, this is his writing. Where's his directing? Directing here. So he's directed Violent Night, which I thought was a really good movie. He directed What Happened on Monday. Well, I don't think a great movie. I actually enjoyed it overall. The action was really good in that movie. He did a Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter, which, again, not a great movie, but fun, dumb action. So I think so far with these movies, just those three, I think this is going to be an interesting project, especially what Josh Hartnett recently did in his most recent project. Oh my God, what was that action film that he did? Oh my God, it's going to bother me now. Damn it, I hate it when I do that. Let's look up Josh Hartnett on IMDb real quick, guys. Because that movie he just did on the plane, where he's an agent, wasn't bad at all. It actually was pretty good. Let's see. Josh Hartnett. What was that movie called? And I cannot find Josh Hartnett. Where is he at? There he is. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. The Bear. No, that wasn't it. Fight or Flight. That's the most recent one that he did after Trap, which I thought was really good. He was also in Oppenheimer. I forgot he played a cool little role in there as well. So he's really doing a comeback. So I just thought it'd be interesting, and I'm interested in seeing him do a lot more and really build up his career back to what it was, if not better than what it used to be. Because I think he's a phenomenal actor and he deserves to be in the spotlight because he does great work. Anyways, guys, that being said, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see Josh Hartnett in a new action thriller movie? Let me know. All right, guys. That being said, let's move over to our next game, or excuse me, our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic of the day is regarding Luca Guadagnini's American Psycho reimagining will not feature a gender swap lead, as it's been rumored. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Despite tabloids' rumors suggesting that Margot Robbie would play a female version of Patrick Bateman, sources confirm Guadagnini's reinterpretation will retain the original male lead. Actors like Austin Butler and Jacob Elordi have been rumored, but no official casting decisions have been made. Zach Z. Burns is adapting Bretton Easton Ellison's controversial novel for Lionsgate and Francis Films, with Guadagnini aiming to reimagine the psychological Wall Street narrative without altering the core identity. So if you guys haven't seen American Psycho, I highly recommend you guys do. It's a great movie. So I'm very curious what Luca Guadagnini is going to end up doing with this film. But it has been long rumored that Margot Robbie would play a female version of Patrick Bateman, which I thought would have been interesting. But it looks like maybe there was too much backlash, or maybe that was never the plan to begin with. We'll never know unless they come out and say themselves. But I'm curious if Margot Robbie's still going to be attached to this project, because I think she's a phenomenal actress, and I'm very curious who they're going to get to play the new Jason Bateman. So I think this movie will turn up to be pretty interesting once we get it all said and done. So I'm very curious how it's going to turn out. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you sad that you're not going to see Margot Robbie play a female version of Patrick? I said Jason Bateman, of Patrick Bateman, excuse me. And then also, are you happy that they're keeping it as a male lead? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, guys, that being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic of the day is regarding Miramax is developing an animated musical based on the Halloween classic Monster Mash. Let's go ahead and take a look here, guys. So, Miramax's CEO, Jonathan Glickman, Jonathan Glickman has Jesus, I really got to learn how to pronounce names. Anyways, has optioned the rights to Bobby Oro's Bobby Pickett's 1962 hit Monster Mash for an animated musical partnered with Reservier, that's pronounced differently, and Capizzi Music Co. Jesus, guys, I'm fucking frustrated with my fucking reading. Anyways, the film will expand the song's narrative of a mad scientist hosting a monster dance party featuring characters like Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Crypt Kicker 5. You mean the Crypt Kicker? Why did I put the Crypt Kicker 5? Was that in this article? Or did my fucking dyslexia kick? Nope. Yep, right here. Mummy, Wolfman, Igor, Crypt Kicker 5. Okay, sorry. I kind of copy and paste certain things and get rid of extra shit, and I summarize it for you guys. And sometimes I just grab shit that I did read and I was like, wait, what? I always do that. Anyways, with Gen Z raised interest in animated and past success like titles like Hotel Transylvania, Wednesday, Miramax aims to make a Monster Mash a perennial Halloween favorite. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think of a Monster Mash animated film. I think this sounds pretty interesting, and I think it'd be very fun. I'm curious if the whole thing's gonna be a musical, if they're gonna have like Dracula sing a musical, make original music for this movie. So I'm very curious how it's going to end up turning out in total. But I think this would be pretty cool to have a nice Halloween animated musical film. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. All right, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to our next movie news topic. And our next movie news topic is regarding IMAX confirms its slate through 2027, but Spider-Man Brand New Day is missing out. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this article from comicbookmovie.com. So according to this, IMAX confirms releases for Supergirl and Avengers Doomsday in 2026, followed by Man of Tomorrow, Batman 2, and Avengers Secret Wars in 2027. However, Spider-Man Brand New Day releases on July 31st, 2026, and may bypass IMAX due to scheduling conflicts with The Odyssey and Flower Vale Street. despite high fan anticipation. Now, I want you guys to know this. So, The Odyssey, which is Christopher Nolan's next movie, and has already sold tickets for its IMAX release a year ahead of its release. That film is the first film, I believe, in film history to be filmed in strictly IMAX format. So they are definitely not going to be giving up any screens for Spider-Man when it comes to the Odyssey. And if, I believe the Flower Vale Street is also um, developed partially with IMAX film. I don't think the whole movie. I think certain things are shot with that. So you have two movies that probably already have contracts. Excuse me, guys, got something in my mouth. They probably already got contracts saying that they're going to be taking up the IMAX screen. So that just means Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be missing out on the IMAX experience. Sad to say. The film is directed by Dustin Daniel Cretton and stars Tom Holland. The film kicks off a new chapter of the Spider-Man saga, and but besides that, but good news as far as the Spider-Man movie, Beyond the Spider-Verse is confirmed for IMAX in 2027. Just so you guys know. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be missing it in IMAX. Now, I'm not a big IMAX guy, and that's only because I found out a long time ago that not every IMAX screen, but most IMAX screens are not true IMAX. True IMAX screens are, I believe, 70 millimeter, if I'm not mistaken. And there's one at the Irvine Spectrum. There's one in downtown LA. I think there's one in Ontario. I'm not exactly sure if that one's true IMAX or not. I got to look into that. But you don't have a lot of true IMAXs all around. And, I used to live right down the street from a theater within walking distance of me. I used to watch IMAX movies in there. And once I found out that that wasn't a true IMAX theater, that I was missing some screens. And the way I figured that out is I went to the Irvine Spectrum and I saw a movie in IMAX, in true IMAX. I believe I saw it was an early fan screening of Batman v Superman in that IMAX screening I saw with my brother. And once we seen the film, I was like, man, this looked phenomenal. I had issues with the film, but that's besides the point. But it looked absolutely phenomenal, and I was like, why the hell don't I see other movies look this good? And I found out it's because it's not true IMAX. So after that, I decided to go watch movies in Dolby Atmos theaters, which is also a great experience. But that's besides the point. So if you're interested in seeing the Odyssey and you already got your IMAX tickets, I highly recommend you make sure that that is a 70 millimeter IMAX screen or whatever the true one is. Look it up if I'm getting that incorrect. But yeah, guys, just want to let you know that. And it's sad to see that Spider-Man's not going to be in IMAX, but me personally, it's not going to affect me in any way, shape, or form. But I will try to go see the Odyssey in true IMAX if I get the opportunity. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, guys, that being said, let's go ahead and move over to our last movie news topic of the day. And our last movie news topic of the day is regarding Predator Badlands. First reactions are in. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, we don't have an, excuse me, guys, someone's at my door. Let me see who it is. Hold on. It is my lady. She knows I'm recording, so she'll probably come in here right now. Anyways, we'll see. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these reactions. If you guys want to read them for yourself, again, it'll be in the article down below. But Badlands flips the franchise's formula following the hunted predator and his and his alliance with, I don't know how to pronounce the character's name, Wylan Yelton Thea, Elle Fanning's character. Anyways, on a quest for redemption. Early viewers described the film as a cosmic buddy road trip movie with heart, action, and standout performances, especially Elle Fanning's. Though some call it Trachtenberg's, who is the director, weakest Predator entry. Following the success of Prey and Killer of Killers, Badland marks the first theatrical Predator release since 2018, with Trachtenberg teasing a third installment, possibly tied to Prey 2. So, guys, that being said, let's look at some of the comments here of these critics or whatever. Anyways, just, you know what? I'm not going to read them because I'm fucking dyslexic and I'm going to embarrass myself. And I'm not going to fucking do that today, all right? You fucking read them. You read them for yourself, goddammit. Anyways, I've read these and they were pretty good. I think the worst comment I seen, but what was the worst comment? I think the worst comment was just saying it's not the best Predator movie when it came to Trachtenberg's movies. And that's a given if you ask me. I mean, this is a lot different. It's not as gory. It's not as horror-esque. It's not as creepy as the other one, so it's a whole different new adventure and a whole different new sci-fi movie. But I do like that we're seeing some good news. Sadly, there is no Rotten Tomato score as of yet, so I'm going to keep a lookout for that. Hopefully, it can get up to 95% what the other ones did. I think, yeah, Killer of Killers did a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that was rated R. What did Prey do? I'm not sure. Was that in this article? I don't think Prey was in this article. Let's look that up, guys. Let's see what Prey did at Rotten Tomatoes. Prey's Rotten Tomato score was. Let's go ahead and take a look here. It was a 94% and a 74% audience rating, so that's pretty good. I don't think Badlands is on here yet. Let's see, Predator Badlands. No, we don't have a Rotten Tomato score, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But I do like knowing that people are enjoying the movie so far, so that makes me more excited to see the film. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for Predator Badlands? And are you guys going to be checking it out next Friday, I believe is the release date. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast, guys. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always remember, stay true, be odd, and forgive me. That's why I say stay true, be odd, because I can't fucking read. Anyways, guys, have a lovely day.